I wanted to reply to the team. And then I did reply all. And the person saw my response. And in the email, I was also writing very casual because I'm thinking I'm talking to my team. I'm like, hi, guys, this thing does not look good. No. It was not dear so-and-so. Sometimes I get work via companies saying, yo, we've just lined up these managers. The feedback from their performance review is that they don't know how to communicate. They are either aggressive or they are too shy or they don't speak up or they don't speak at all. You will see who takes their communication serious between the two people.
Okay.
There's one who just wouldn't care. Look, I'm very busy, my schedule is hectic, so why are you chasing me now? The armpits are holding the agenda in the room and now everyone is just going, what is that smell?
Welcome to this edition of Mindset Profits. I'm being hooked up to some really amazing tips and tricks today. I'm drinking warm water because Doric is back. It is
so good to be back. I was about to do a dance. I'm back. I told you I'm going to become part of the furniture here. So get used to it.
You're welcome, Joe. We're going to be talking, as promised, communicate like a boss. But what's with the water? What's with the warm water? What is it going to do to me?
So we're in winter,
right?
And I just gave you an idea that I do sing. Mm-hmm. But not on idols, ne?
It's coming.
And it's not in the shower either. It's not the singing that happens in the shower, but I do sing in church. And the one thing I learned over the years about really looking after your vocal cords is knowing what to drink, what not to drink. Mm-hmm. It's winter, so the chances are your vocal cords, first thing when you wake up, that deep voice that most of us always have. Yeah. It always sounds like it's cracking. Mm-hmm. Imagine waking up and then the first thing you're drinking is cold water. You're shocking your vocal cords. So drinking warm water ensures that at least by the time you are also talking and speaking, you were laughing at me when I was just going do, 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 do. So things like lower register, speaking from the chest. Let me tell you what happened on my first recording with you.
Okay.
I was feeling a bit fluey.
Is it? Well, that didn't come out.
It didn't come out, right? Because I have managed to harness the skill of being able to project my voice without showing people that my nose is actually, but I could hear it when I was watching myself.
Now you're going to make people
now you want to go back and watch.
Go back and watch
it's
just
okay.
to see.
But it's remember, we're here to teach people that sometimes you don't feel so good and the gig is happening. You have to speak. You've been invited to come and speak. You don't feel so good. So what are you going to do? Cancel? No. So warm water for me is the go-to area. Sometimes I add a bit of lemon. First thing I drink is warm water with lemon when I wake up before I eat anything.
Okay.
But I avoid hectic dairy products. We were talking about people who constantly go,
I do that sometimes.
It's like you're starting a car and you don't know what is going on, And we get so used to those things, you don't realize that there are things that you're eating that are affecting your vocal cords. So dairy products, if you're not careful, they sit right here. Mm-hmm. And constantly there's a layer that's been created because of your full cream milk. People drink tea and it's looking like Snow White. All of those things in there.
You're describing me
am I describing
so well.
Well, at least if you've got a twin out there who drinks tea like you, they can also get that. So I'm not saying people shouldn't take, I love yogurt. But like we said the last time, being aware of these things means that you're a boss. And I think today we're talking about communicating like a boss.
Communicate like a boss. You have a masterclass around this. Why is it such an important topic? And why like a boss?
Well, when you think of the word boss, what comes to mind, Ntando? Let's start with you.
Leader.
A leader. Mm-hmm. What else comes to mind?
I have some authority.
Authority.
I need to get a message across.
Yes.
I need to get stuff done.
Yeah.
Those are things that fly through my mind.
There's a certain level of control.
Oh, yeah.
That you have.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when we talk about a boss, it's so easy for us to talk about other people versus thinking of ourselves as bosses until we get a title that makes us feel like we're a boss.
I'm stuck processing now. Can you try and repeat?
Yeah. So you are so used to referring to boss, right? My boss at work,
Yeah.
my boss here and there. The only time you can refer to yourself as a boss is if you are now owning your own company or you've been given a title.
Oh, yeah. Now I get it.
Yeah.
You had said it so fast, you did.
Over you. So I got to a point of saying to myself, we are bosses. Because remember our first conversation, we spoke about knowing who you are, being aware, being intentional in everything that you do. So essentially, you are in control. I can't drive your behavior. Everything starts with you. So now when we take it with communication, communication starts with you. Even if you are the receiver, you are in control of how you respond.
I like that.
So you're a boss.
I like that.
You're a boss.
Yeah, I'm a boss. I
You're
feel
a boss.
like it.
You're a boss. It starts with you, it ends with you.
And then how does this get to the masterclass that you're running?
So when I started, it was coming from a place of my own experience in corporate, of just watching very interesting emails, what I now call bombshells.
Okay.
So very often in the workplace, when people are not happy, we just write how we feel about something without thinking about how it's going to be read by the next person. So when we were chatting, I was saying it's also good just to define what communication is. Communication is an exchange. Whether you're doing that in writing, whether you're doing that through speaking, it is an exchange of information. There is a sender, there's a receiver. Sometimes you expect feedback, sometimes you don't. But it's an exchange. So in the midst of that exchange, I'll just be sitting and I'm seeing emails back and forth. And the kinds of emails that make you cringe.
Like how?
Like people writing capital letters and using red fonts. Do this now, capital letters, exclamation mark. Urgent. And then here's the one thing that used to really shock me. You delegated a task to Ntando, and you've realized that Ntando has not done his task. As a manager, you send an email, you say, one sentence. Not even, hi Ntando, good morning Ntando. Why has this not been done? Question. Your why is in a capital letter. And there's a question mark on the subject line, by the way. Ding, ding.
And these were internal. There was nothing like that going out to customers, right?
Here's the thing. Now, you never know what people are saying to customers. If we can say that to one another internally, what are the chances that people are going to speak to customers in a more respectful manner? Because remember, your business is like your house. You take care of your business at home first. It'll be easy to take care of your clients. So in this case, someone might say, I don't run a company, I don't run a business. You are a house. So let's check how you are communicating.
And how your communication is helping you achieve your goals or not?
Yes. So I remember in our first conversation, I said, before you speak to someone or before you even send an email, ask yourself, why am I sending the email? So when I train in communication, I always go back to, what's the foundation? Why do I need to send Ntando an email? What's the objective? Do we really need to talk? And you then decide, should I send an email or I can go and talk to him? So in instances of conflict, people need to be able to distinguish whether an email is necessary or let me rather go and speak to him face to face. But guess what people do when there's conflict? We are
Text.
here. Your emotions are running, you're angry, and you've got this visual picture of you punching this person in the office, kicking them, right? And it's showing in the email that you send. Right. So at some point while I was still growing, I was so upset one day and I decided to type how I was feeling to this person just to get over it. The intention was not to send. Guess what happened? I pressed send by mistake and the email went.
And you couldn't
With
recall
all
it.
my full emotional expressions of how this person had spoken to me in a rude manner. I didn't use F-bombs, right? But I was upset. So here's the one principle that has helped me over the years.
Wait, don't not finish the story.
He wants the tea. He wants the tea. So the email went, right? And the person saw the email. And I'd written about 4 paragraphs
Okay.
of how disrespected I felt and how inappropriate this person's behavior was. 4 paragraphs. After sending that email, the person came and said, sometimes when I speak, by the way, English is not my first language. So when I speak in direct translation from my language into, right? So this person starts, can you imagine the embarrassment now? That I went in for the kill and I'm thinking, I'm going to tell this person where to get off. How dare you?
And they
Say
just
what you
simply
said.
apologize and say,
And they said, I am so sorry. I've never been conscious of what I say to people, but going forward, I'm going to be more aware.
sure, now you feel like a horrible person after that.
But it was good. I made them aware because I expressed myself. But in a social space, that would have been fine. I'm talking to a friend, you've disrespected me, I can give you my 4 paragraphs. But sometimes in the workplace, that may not be necessary. Because we need to be able to separate our emotions from a situation.
Okay. What was the big lesson there for you? You were about to get to that.
Right. So the one thing that I had to learn was to say, if I am writing an email, I must write as if my email is going to be posted on a billboard somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Write like whatever you're writing is going to be on a billboard.
Each time you write.
Write like what you're writing is going to be on a billboard for everyone to see. On a notice board in the office, pretend that what you've written is going to be pasted there. If you don't like what you've written, and that thought, for me, is literally the one thing that comes up as a stop sign.
Okay.
Whenever I feel like writing how I feel, I ask myself, if this were to be posted for everyone to see, does it represent the brand called Doric well?
Nice.
When you speak as if what you are saying is going to be played on air, on radio for everyone to hear.
You take this intention thing to a whole other level.
But I had to learn. That's why I'm being vulnerable enough to highlight. People sometimes think that when we are coaches, we don't have our own bag of skeletons of mistakes. We have to be authentic in our teaching so that you know that I am not perfect. I teach what I teach also based on my own experience of my own mistakes and some of the bloopers that I made. So I'll give you another blooper.
Okay.
Yeah, today I'm just exposing myself. Right. So someone sent an email and they had a proposal and talking about branding and aligning yourself with the right brands. Association is key. If I partner with you in business, I'm essentially saying to people, Dando and I are in alignment in terms of our own values and principles. That's why in business you have to be careful who you partner with. So someone sent an email saying, would like to partner with you guys, da 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 da. And the first thing I noticed was the document they were sending and the product just was not in alignment with who we were in terms of design. It looked like something else, right? So this speaks to paying attention to detail, right? When you communicate. So my first response is, oh my word. So I'm thinking I'm replying to the team, but I'm now replying to the person who sent the email to partner with us without realizing it.
Oh.
So I say, oh my word, this is too busy.
How did you not know who the email was going to?
No. I was not. You see the whole thing of paying attention to detail.
Yeah.
Right? See, when numerous emails have come in
Yeah.
and you're so busy, and then you remember someone reminds you, you need to respond to this email. Now, you are going reply all. I wanted to reply to the team. And then I did reply all. Didn't I just communicate how this product did not look so good?
And they were on there.
And I pressed send. And the person saw my response. And in the email, I was also writing very casual because I'm thinking I'm talking to my team. I'm like, hi, guys, this thing does not look good. No. It was not dear so-and-so. So when I say I've learned, it is not a joke, Ndando. It is not a joke.
Did you guys salvage that relationship?
The person was not happy. They felt insulted. But it didn't change my decision of not wanting to partner. So I had to apologize that I sent the email directly to them, but I had to rewrite what I was saying on the other email again and reiterate the fact that unfortunately we cannot partner with you. But I wish you all the best. But I had to apologize that they'd seen an email that was not meant for them.
You've seen a lot.
Yeah, I've done a lot.
Done a lot with
Done
this,
a lot.
seen the emails at work, and then it evolved into a masterclass, which is what we want to get into today.
Yeah.
What prompted the masterclass itself?
Right. So that whole nudge of wanting to do something that's in alignment with my gift, the experience of seeing how people communicate in the workplace became a pain point for me. The anger was converted into purpose. Take the anger, convert it into purpose. Do something about it. Versus being angry that people don't communicate in the workplace. Maybe you are angry because actually that is your purpose. So in the end, I found myself being the one who helps people write emails in the workplace. People would come to me and say, please read my email. Does it sound right? Is my tone fine? Because I'd gotten to a point of actually saying, so the first email where I was bombarding the other person, that changed to, going forward, guys, this is me now in the boardroom. If you send an email that is disrespectful, I will not respond to you. So if you don't get a response, please come and see me.
Okay.
Because one thing that I will not accept as a communications manager is to give people the impression that it is okay to speak a certain type of way and you must go home and sleep at night and think that it's okay. So when you are called a brand custodian, you must be that.
Okay.
So I had the opportunity to, just like people in finance, they will say, if you spend money from the company, whether you're putting fuel, right, using the company credit card, we want a receipt. What is that? It's the process, right? That keeps you accountable.
Process and accountability.
Right. So sometimes we think when it comes to communication, we shouldn't be accountable, which is wrong. So I got into a position where I could hold people accountable for communicating in a certain type of way. And in the end, if you think about it, it's not just in business. I'm helping you in life. Because everything else you do outside of work is still communication.
Do you know why people don't struggle to be accountable when it comes to how they communicate? Body language.
So if you've never been told that your body language is wrong, why would you correct something that you don't know is wrong? Right? So everything that seems normal to you is because nobody has ever said, no, Ntando, in meetings, Mara, why do you do this to your arms like you're fighting? You just look angry. What's going on? You know? And you know, there's this body language that just says, I don't even want to be here. Like if you could just talk and finish. Have you been to...
Yeah, because the body can say, I'm bored, finish.
Let's talk job
You're wasting
interviews.
my time.
Let's talk job interviews.
Yeah.
We've all been to interviews where, hey, you are second of last. It's been a day of interviews and you just happen to be second of last or the last one. You walk in, the body language says, hey, you better be better than the other one. Here's another one. But communicating means you could change even the people in a room because of how you walked in. So the moment your demeanor says, I know why I'm here and I'm the right person for the job, even the one who was slouching like this, sits up and goes, so that's one time to tell us a bit more about your work experience, because there's something that you've done that woke the people up in the room. So communication is so broad, but if you think about it, it is the most pivotal thing for me that we should all master. Doesn't matter whether it's at work, whether it's in business, whether it's socially.
Yeah.
It is so important. So that for me, that experience of holding people accountable for how they communicate made me think, actually, I can take that experience and teach people. So I started breaking up the categories.
Yeah.
There's the masterclass I do for people in business. So if you're an entrepreneur and you need to walk into a room to pitch for money, what does that look like? So are you communicating like a boss? And I break it down. It's not just the words you use. It's not just what's your story. It is, how do you look? So we were talking about me wearing my blazer, not the blazer. And you thought it's about feeling cold. And I said, no, Ntando. It's bigger than that.
The look, the brand.
The look, the brand. So my brand has red in it because red in color psychology signifies power. So if you notice a lot of presidents wear red ties.
Red ties, yeah. That I've picked up.
Why? It signifies power.
They've got a Doric behind them.
So they've got a Doric who says, you know what to do. You know the right tie. So you're doing your speech, whatever it is, red is the color to go for.
Okay.
So for me, red has always been that color. If I'm, depending on what I'm doing, the color speaks to the agenda of the day. What do I want to communicate?
Okay. So the categories are entrepreneurship,
people who want to just master communication in terms of, I do my job as an accountant, but apparently when I'm in meetings, they're saying that I don't speak up. So people who are doing their work in their careers and they know that as individuals, they struggle to communicate. I come in and I coach you as an individual. And sometimes I get work via companies saying, we've just lined up these managers. The feedback from their performance review is that they don't know how to communicate. They are either aggressive or they are too shy or they don't speak up or they don't speak at all. They're aggressive.
Don't speak
They're
up.
shy. They don't speak up.
Don't speak at all.
Don't speak at all. Then you're like, but you're a manager. No, but why must I keep talking? They got the email, Moose. Why must I talk? So communication is so diverse that you need to understand there's different ways of communication, right? Like I said, sometimes you have to ask yourself, do I send an email or do I just call this person?
What would work best?
Depending on the context. So if I am sending an email to you and I know it's a very important email that highlights a meeting that's going to happen, I need feedback from people that are going to attend the meeting and confirmation of the time and the venue. I am informing you, right? I need that in writing because as all of us have seen in the workplace, people will throw you under the bus and say, I didn't see anything, you never said anything to me, and someone doesn't pitch for the meeting. So people have constantly relied on written work. So you can't beat written work. People will tell you, even in business, if you're working with someone that you don't trust. Hi, Dando, just to reiterate our meeting, I just wanted to highlight that we spoke about the following points and that by next week, you and I should be meeting again to follow through some of the things that we said we're going to do as a team. Thank you. Right.
You said communication is a two-way street. In a context like this, because there's people that say I communicated and genuinely they have proof that they sent the email, but the other party didn't read it for whatever reason. They were busy, they traveled. Yes. Who is accountable there?
Both of you. Because as the sender, if I'm sending you an email and I don't expect I need confirmation that you received the email, even if the email says noted. So if I just send the email and I said, I was just informing Dando that we are meeting next week. He's aware that we're meeting, but I'm just sending an email. It is my job and my prerogative to ensure that I follow up with Dando to confirm that he received my email. So the sender, you have a responsibility to actually get confirmation that what you sent was received. Communication is not communication if it's not effective.
True.
Effective communication is when the message is delivered. If it's not delivered, you have not communicated.
Got you. And I like the way you phrased it, because that's one big question I had for you today.
Which one?
Effective communication. What are some of the effective communication skills that someone needs to develop so they communicate like a boss?
Yeah. So, like I said in the beginning, holding yourself accountable for your own communication is pivotal.
That would be number one.
Number one,
I think
because-
having heard you explain it earlier.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Because what happens is we like to blame other people. So instead of holding myself account, that's why I said when you asked me the question, someone sent an email, the other one didn't respond, who's responsible? You are all responsible. Depending on how you view your own communication, you will see who takes their communication serious between the two people.
Okay.
There's one who just wouldn't care. Look, I'm very busy, my schedule is hectic, Mus. So why are you chasing me? But let's give an example of being in the office. I'm giving an example of effective communication, office structure in the office. I've sent an email to Ntando highlighting that we have a meeting next week. Ntando has not responded to me in 2 days. Ntando works across the hall from where I sit. I must stand up from my chair and go to Ntando and say, Ntando, I'm just checking if you received my email. I've not received a response from you. You must have your own timelines of a response. Whether it's within 24 hours, I'm going to remind him. Whether it's via a phone call, or I will go to him face to face. Maybe Ntando is experiencing problems with his emails. So as a communicator, it is only effective if you get confirmation that your objective was fulfilled, which is I was supposed to inform Ntando about the meeting. If Ntando does not respond or he doesn't receive your email, you have not communicated effectively. So you have to find other ways. So when I manage people in communications in departments, I would say, if someone says, no, but he didn't respond, my first question to you is, what else did you do to get the confirmation that you needed?
That's nice. That's good.
I'm forcing you to think outside of, communication isn't just about sending. That's why I said it is an exchange. Even if the exchange is just noted, email received. It's an exchange because I've received feedback. And sometimes the email requires feedback. Are you attending or you are not attending? You are a receptionist or a PA, and you're supposed to be doing the arrangements for a board meeting. You are sending all the necessary information, board packs. You need confirmation that everyone received the board packs. You can't say, it said sent on my side. That's what people say. It says sent on my side. So he surely, it says read. So it means this person got my email. So they are the ones who are incompetent. It's not me. So being a boss means you are in control, right? You're holding yourself accountable for your own communication. And as we go forward, I will highlight why you can't hold yourself responsible for everyone's behavior. So we're going to talk about conflict.
Okay.
Because you're going to do a bit of martial arts in life, in communication. You will not meet people who are always going to write with such good English and be friendly and be respectful to you. You will meet the total opposite sometimes. The question is, what is your response? How are you responding to that? So
you're not only accountable for the communication you're sending out, there's the feedback that you give when people have either offended you or communicated with you in any way.
Yes. At the end of the day, have you achieved what you wanted to achieve? Ask yourself, why am I communicating? Why? Right? And so now I'm breaking it down in terms of all the different structures of effective communication. Why do I need to communicate?
So number one would have been being more accountable with your communication.
Be more accountable with your communication.
With your body language, with email, with all types of on the phone. Be more accountable.
Right.
And the second is what we're getting into now.
Now we're breaking it down.
Why?
Why are you communicating? So remember when we spoke in the first conversation, I said, if people master these 4 things, why, who, what, how, even this way, right?
Yeah.
When, It is the most powerful model of ensuring that if it's communication, why am I communicating? Which means when I write my email, my why must be included in the email. Hi, Ndando, I was getting in touch with you just to find out if you're available for a meeting on Wednesday.
The why is clear.
The why is clear, right? And then next thing is who. I need Ndando in the meeting. I need Temba in the meeting. I need Sissel in the meeting. Chantal also must be in the meeting. Who's your audience? Right?
And the who also informs the communication style.
So now, when you move from who, it's what medium do I need to use to get access to the who?
Got you.
Dando doesn't work in my company, so I need to actually call him first and then send an email. Everybody else is in my company, so I've got their email addresses, so I'm going to send an email to everyone else, right? And remember, right now, this example is an example in the office. There's a different example for communicating in business and dealing with an audience. But I'm highlighting these segments because if you master your why, your who, your what, right? So in the communication, the why is that I need to confirm if Dando can meet. What are you discussing in the meeting? What's the agenda?
That has to be clear as well.
That has to be clear. I know who's going to be in the meeting. I know why I need him in the meeting. What's the agenda? Your what also is a part of your why. It gives the details on the why. What are we discussing when we meet, right? And then there's the how. Now, those are the different mediums and the channels that you're going to use. I need audio. I need to call him.
And you're picking the most relevant.
Where are we going to meet? That must be clear. I must give details of the venue for the meeting. So if you master all these things, why do I need to speak to Ndando as a business person? What is informing my move to even say, hi, Ndando?
You know what I'm thinking? If you are that clear all the time, you save yourself a whole lot of time in boardroom meetings. If you just come in and say, hi guys, today we're going to cover 1, 2, 3 and...
How many meetings have we been in where you are? Oh,
2 hours later, you're wondering...
We still don't know whether the ship is going to the west or the east. And then you have the ones that just like talking, but they're not even clear about what they're saying. And it's just a lot of words. You just want to be seen communicating. Right?
Okay.
So remember, knowing how to speak is not effective communication. It's not enough. Effective communication is knowing what you want to say, why you are saying what you're saying, how you're going to say it, and knowing who you're going to say it to. And for how long you're going to say it for.
And where.
And where. Some conversations, sometimes you can be in a space and you realize this can wait. Actually, I can discuss this with Ndando outside of this meeting. So our problem is we want everything said in the same space at the same time. And then you're in a meeting for 2 hours, you realize, guys, actually, we could have, taken just an hour.
Actually, you raise something there. There is the way. Understanding that there are questions that you can't ask in front of certain people.
Thank you.
There's things that you can't raise in certain rooms.
Yes. But it's an awareness. So to be an effective communicator, outside of holding yourself accountable, be constantly aware. Because the awareness means you know what to say, when to say it, how to say it, to whom to say it, and where to say it. You're done. That's a masterclass. I'll charge you. I'll send you my invoice in Ndando.
See, the good thing with podcasts is skip consultation.
Skip consultation. Other people have paid for that.
But it's a great way to break it down. I'm remembering something that you said earlier about being called and a company saying we've got management and performance reviews are saying these guys are struggling to communicate.
Yes.
They don't speak out, they don't speak loud enough.
They're aggressive.
Or they are aggressive. When you're looking at people like that and they're asking you, how do I change if that's my problem? Because some of the challenges here are deep. Yeah. If someone is struggling to speak and express themselves, it's down to confidence and self-esteem and stuff.
Yeah.
where would someone start if they wanted to fix their communication and they're in any of these 4 categories?
Yeah. So when I had grown in my craft as a coach, a lot of people would come and say, fix their communication, fix them, fix them, fix them, fix them, fix them, fix them, right? And the moment I said, I'm dealing with human beings, remember what we said in the first conversation you and I have?
Human
I'm
terms.
deep. Everything I do has depth. So there's no way that you're going to bring a human being to me and I do surface level work. So I started being very clear with the clients that I can teach you how to pitch your voice and speak up. So like I said in the beginning that my first recording with you, I was feeling a bit fluey, but I've mastered chest
Showing
register, right? Lower register, speaking deeply because I don't want to speak from my nose because then you'll hear that I'm feeling fluey, right? And if my pitch goes high, it might affect my projection. So all of those things are things that I've had to master. I can teach you that. But confidence issues are deep issues. Silence is a deep issue. Violence is a deep issue. So in the end, the package really speaks to me helping you first as a person, as an individual. I call them weeds. I need to get the weeds out before I come and I literally do the furnishing of communication tips. Because guess what? You can go on Google and find communication tips. But Google won't help you with the deep issues that you experienced as a child. Can Google help you with that? You can read books, but you need someone who's really going to make you take a mirror and ask yourself, why do I speak the way I speak? Where is it coming from? That's why in the beginning I gave you the example of how when you deal with the child, be very careful because you are transferring certain types of behaviors without even being aware. So when you shout, you're saying to your child, shouting is normal. When you scream, you're saying to your child, adapt. Screaming is normal. And guess what? From one generation to another, it's going to be a common thing in the family. Tina vele siyarasa. Get used to it. We are loud here. Right? So when someone brings someone to me, I'm very clear that I'm a coach and I unearth the gem. The gem in you that needs to be unearthed is the individual who's respectful and able to communicate what they need to communicate without any hustle or stress or fear. Where's the anger coming from? Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry? No, but people must know their job. Like it's common sense. Like I don't understand why people don't want to use their common sense, right? So what that tells me is, here's the one powerful thing I learned when I was really reading more on communication. Every form of communication is a reflection of how you are feeling inside of, and also of how you communicate to yourself on the inside. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I was going to ask you to.
Every form of communication that comes out of you is a reflection of how you see yourself and how you communicate with yourself.
Okay. So if you're abusive in how you speak,
which means your own internal conversations with yourself are aggressive, abusive. It's like people who do doc and then they go, what kind of nonsense is this? Like, how could you write something like this? You're saying that to yourself. Have you had those instances where you are doing something and you are literally bashing yourself?
I've heard part of it was because of communication, actually.
The voices in your head.
Yeah.
Let's say you're saying something, and I always say this, when you're communicating, forgive yourself. I'm a speaker, but sometimes the words will come out in a different way. And sometimes I'd laugh and I go, and I go, okay, let's fix the tongue. Let's get it right. And I laugh at myself because the truth is you are vulnerable to the fact that you're just human. You are not perfect. So sometimes even during a speaking gig, you're in front of people and the words are just not wording. They are not rhyming. And for some reason, it's not flowing the way you want it to flow. Throw in that thing as a form of humor and just be like, guys, let's get this right. I remember when I was doing radio, I would have those days. And I'm just like, what is happening to me today? The tongue is just not working, guys.
The English is betraying.
Yes, the airtime for the English is gone. And maybe sometimes it's before I knock off. And I throw in a joke about the fact that, hi, Ishahile, guys. So the tongue has knocked off. I need to bring it back. But I would add that humor just to show that I'm human.
You know, that's one of the most powerful tips, I think, in terms of communication that I got from one coach.
Yeah.
That if communication is going badly, whatever is going on, if the room is hot, call it out. If people are hungry or look hungry, call it out.
Yeah.
If you are tired, call it out. Whatever is wrong, don't pretend people can't see. And then now they are worried about you because they see that the audio is bad, there's noise there. But when are you trying to keep talking?
Yes.
Just call it out and say, this is what's going on. Then everyone comes back to you.
Yeah.
I'm remembering that when you're saying, even on radio, and the English would disappear, you just say, hey guys,
Just like,
I don't know what's going on.
And the words
English.
are just like,
And for some
getting all
reason,
mixed up.
when you say that, you relax.
You relax, you stop beating yourself up. So when I'm training on presentations, sometimes you can freeze. Your PowerPoint looks good, but for some reason, it starts glitching. And then it affects your confidence. Then you're like, oh my word, oh my word, oh my word, oh my word. This is bad, this is bad. This is the voice on the inside of you. This is not good. And then now when you're looking at everyone, because of what's happening on the inside of you, everyone looks like they're judging you. Let's be honest. It looks like everyone's going, what kind of nonsense is this? It's all in your head because of what's happening on the inside. So you understand why confidence is so important. And the most powerful definition of confidence I got was from a gentleman I watch all the time, Myron Golden.
Okay.
Right. And Myron said, confidence is not just boldness. When someone calls you his confidant, there's trust.
Yeah.
Right? So confidence means you must trust this thing that you're about to say. The reason why we don't have confidence is we don't trust what we're about to say. We don't trust the content that is about to come out of our mouth. We don't trust ourselves.
So the more you trust yourself and the content that
But
you're
how do you
sharing
trust yourself?
and its value.
Yeah. The more you do that, but how do you trust yourself? Put in the work. Know the content. You can't just go into a meeting and not know the points that you're going to cover. Read the content so that when you are speaking, when you've read something
Yeah.
and you say, when we were kids in primary school and the teacher says, who wants to come and say this poem? And you've mastered the poem. You'll be pushing to go to the front. We must be like children. When you know, you know. And when you know, it shows.
I love it because now you made me remember my worst public speaking gig. It happened to be my first big one. I got invited and these guys trusted me with a huge audience. I think there must have been like 500 people or something there.
Oh, my word.
So I call, coach is coming, he's going to blow you away.
Yeah.
The politicians that were speaking during the day, and for whatever reason, they took long. I was supposed to speak at 12, and it got to 2 p.m., and these guys were not done.
Wow.
Now, they call me up at 2 p.m. I was supposed to speak at 12. And by then, people are hungry. And when they called me up, I was hungry too. And when they called me up, food started coming. There were plates of food coming to be delivered to the audience as they were sitting down. So now everyone is hungry. Everyone is looking at the food and thinking,
distracted.
When am I next? I'm hungry too. I'm pissed off that there's plates moving all over the room. I don't call it out. I try and speak over it. I could tell looking at the people that they're not listening. And by the time I was done, I was supposed to speak for like 25 minutes. I cut it to around 15, thinking I'm doing okay. And it was the first time that I felt what it feels like when an MC takes over after you spoke and says, oh, thank you for sharing all of this. This was good. Next up we have.
Ooh.
That cut deep.
Cut deep.
And there was that moment of people are trying to clap hands, the one or two that would have listened. And it's like, and then they're now not sure because no one is following.
Yeah.
So clap hands and then, am I the only one? And then it dies down.
Oh, my word.
It was that bad.
So what would have been the type of response that would have made you feel like I did it, even if it was just for 15 minutes?
I think, first off, before I get to the response that would have made it meaningful, it would be me if I went up, because I got an opportunity later when I had experience and when I had this teaching to go and speak, and the very same thing happened. I was supposed to speak at 11. I got to speak at about 1:30 or so.
Yeah.
And when I was speaking, there was food at the back of the room. So I took the mic, laughed, and said, you know what, guys, let me tell you about my worst gig ever.
Mm-hmm.
This happened. And because I spoke late, food was coming out and people were hungry and everyone started to get where I was going. Did they not just laugh?
Yeah.
I saw in that intro, people literally put plates away.
And they listened.
Oh, because I said, I know you're hungry. I see the food is here, but you're traumatizing me now.
Yeah. And that's you being vulnerable.
Exactly.
You being vulnerable, but also adding a dash of humor goes a long way. But knowing what to throw in is also just as important. It's not all of us who can throw in humor and get people to laugh, because it might not land so good. Right? So I always say, no one can take away your own personal experience. Yeah. So if you're going to throw in something, use your own personal experience, because you connect easier with people. Human beings love that. He's talking. That's why I said to you, I gave you those examples when we started, so that people realize I'm not just communicate like a boss. I'm a boss lady who has no mistakes. I made my own mistakes. And the more you do that, the more you realize that, okay, the first time around this happened. What are you doing now? You're aware. And you know it's happening again. But someone who's not confident in a situation like that, it would have been, oh, it's happening again, oh my word. Oh, look at them, look, they're even chewing. And even people chewing affects you now. The sound is affecting your brain. You are hearing it in loudspeaker form. Like, people go through that kind of stuff. So confidence is a lot of work. And when you get it, you hold on to it. If we could literally teach confidence and make it compulsory in the schools, students going to university, I used to see it when I'm tutoring, they would struggle to even lift up their hands to ask that I don't know this. I allow you to finish university in that state. You go into the workplace, you don't even ask your boss that I don't understand, which means I'm causing damage. So confidence is a big deal. And for me, that's why I went into masterclasses. It's teaching individuals how to build their own confidence, right? Because people think that I teach you how to speak good English. It's bigger than that. I want you to find your voice. And I want you to know how to say it so that you stop being aggressive. There are people who are so passionate, it can be misinterpreted to mean you're aggressive. I remember this one time my boss said, hey, your passion comes across like anger. because my hands, when I'm talking, I'm like, yeah, but... right? And then I don't realize that the person sitting across of me is thinking, hey, she's fighting. But at that time, I'm excited and I'm like, no, but, da. So my hands were saying something else. So when someone tells you and gives you feedback, like our first conversation, know why you're speaking, know what you're going to say, know how you're going to say it. But sometimes it may not always be perfect. So be open to feedback. Because then when people come and say, hey, Doric, you come across aggressive. Then I'm like, no, man, it's just passion. It's just passion. Don't worry. And so outside of all those basic things that we've spoken about, there's something that I want to emphasize, right?
On effective communication.
Effective communication, which is part and parcel of how you look and etiquette. Never speak in a meeting while chewing gum. You want fresh breath?
I've seen those.
Have some mints before the meeting. When you now need to speak, or even better, have some tissue, spit it out. Say what you need to say. I'm not saying spit it out and put it back in, by the way. Take out the gum, take out the sweet, say what you need to say. Don't be, guys, you know this thing.
And on the mic, it
doesn't sound good, right? Sometimes you're not even on the mic, you're just in the meeting. Yes, I always have mints in my bag. Don't go to a conference and say, we always find sweets on the table. You will be shocked one day. The budget is low. There are no mints. and you are there for a networking event, and the moment you turn around to talk to the next person, you realize, this is now a bombshell. I can't talk to Ndando now. And you know, bad breath can make you so uncomfortable. It shows. You start talking like this. So, for instance, I'm in marketing and...
Funny, it's not even bad breath alone, even your look. Because I've noticed something with many people, even with myself, for the longest. There's days where you wake up and you're not so particular about what you pick up to wear. You get to certain rooms and someone important comes, and now you're checking yourself and feeling like, why did I do this?
So we spoke about speak like you are on loudspeaker or on air on radio, and everyone can hear you. Write like what you've written would be on a billboard. Dress like you are about to meet the one person you've always wanted to meet in your life.
Okay. Speak, write, dress.
Right. You speak like everyone is hearing what you're saying. The whole world can hear you. So if you're being rude or you're using F-bombs, do you really want everyone to know that you use F-bombs in the office?
I think if it's in this era, we can safely say speak like you're being recorded, or just assume you're being recorded.
Assume you're being recorded, but also assume that you're audible to everyone, for everyone to hear, right? Then two, you write like it's going to be projected on a screen somewhere for people to read what you've said in your written form. And dress like you are going to meet the one person you've always wanted to meet in your life. Who's the one person you've always wanted? With me, Oprah. Right? With you?
There's many.
There's a whole list. One person that let's put money aside. I say, Ntando, this evening, this one person you've always wanted to meet.
He's not popular. His name is David Chance. Okay. He is an amazing teacher on podcasting. So a lot of what I do, I learned from him.
You learn from him, right? So if I said to you, Dando, pretend every time you walk out of your house that you are going to...
David Chance.
Bump into David Chance. Do you think you'd be dressed in a certain type of way all the time?
So the weird thing with that is he is also a chilled guy.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not in ties and suits and stuff, but clean.
So when you think of Oprah, big hair, big voice, do you understand why I'm saying I want to meet Oprah?
And when I think of David Chance, just be clean.
Just be clean.
And be comfortable.
So when you have that thought at the back of your mind that I must dress like I am going to meet the most important people that are on my list without even knowing, it means how you carry yourself says boss. With or without Oprah in the room, I must act like anyone I'm talking to is Oprah.
And how you write emails says boss.
Same thing, says boss. How I carry myself. Small like etiquette things that I teach. I'm wearing something that exposes my arms. Hey, put some oil, people. Don't be ashy. Don't be ashy. You know, where someone is looking at you going, oh, the dress is nice. Mara, she's lacking some lotion, guys. You know? So small things that people wouldn't pay attention to. Your legs, ladies. You're wearing a dress, put some oil on your legs. You know when I sit, because I'm so attentive, I look from head to toe. And if I'm liking the shoe, if someone is liking my shoe and my feet are not oiled, you can imagine. The shoe's nice, Mara. She didn't put oil on her legs. Or the hands, nice nails, but you're looking ashy. So look the part. Look the part. Ask yourself, like for instance, today I had earrings. I took them off because I realized the earrings are too busy. What am I trying to do with today's conversation? I'm communicating like a boss.
Okay.
So I don't want my earrings to be the distraction.
Okay.
So I wanted to close off with this part on just etiquette. Armpits, guys. Just you communicate with your aura. So, because a lot of people think when I talk about it's just speak good English, Etiquette comes in. The moment you walk into the room, you've communicated. How you look communicates something to me. So if you don't take care of yourself, hygienically speaking, you've also communicated something to me. So the next time I'm doing a business meeting, I can't go with Ndando because Ndando's paparazzi, as we call it, is paparazzing.
The armpits communicate.
The armpits are
And
holding
they
the
are
room.
loud.
The armpits are holding the agenda in the room now. The armpits are holding the agenda in the room, and now everyone is just going, what is that smell? But people are not saying it. They're just going, what is that smell? And shoes. Change your socks. Even if the one thing you have is one pair of shoes and one pair of socks, wash your shoes, wash your socks. Because every time we talk about hygiene, people say, I don't have money for cologne, I don't have money for a perfume. No, cleanliness just requires water, guys. You just need water. Be clean. And just make sure you are better off saying to your friend, I just need Vaseline, for people who are saying I'm struggling. When I was at university, I didn't have a lot of things. I struggled at university. And I remember having 3 pairs of jeans and 2 tops. Okay. But the swag I had,
you could mix
no one
and
could
match.
tell until I told them that my situation was tough at varsity. When I told my friends when we graduate, they were like, what? You didn't even look like it. I washed my own hair. I couldn't go to a salon. I looked after myself. So people come up with excuses of poverty to justify why they are not showing up. So communication is showing up to the best of your ability and doing it so that the world gets to see you the way you want them to see you.
Love it. Love it. There's one thing that I can't let you go without us talking about.
Yes.
Top 5 fears for people in general. There's a study that was done on the top 5 fears. You know what one of them was? Public speaking.
Yes.
And it's rated higher than even death. So
no, people would rather die. That's the research. People would rather have a eulogy being done for them when they are now dead than them speaking.
Stand up in front of a crowd and speak.
It's. I would rather Ntando comes to my funeral to give a eulogy. That's how fearful people are when it comes to public speaking.
When it comes to training leaders and just handling your nerves, because that's the big part of it. Yeah. You're scared that when I stand in front of people, I'm going to be so nervous. I'll miss my words. I'll forget my lines, and it's not going to go well.
Yeah.
How do I get past nerves? 1. And 2, how do I carry a room and not be boring? Because that's a whole other thing as well.
Paying attention to those things. So the one thing that people forget is that always keep in mind that things might not go according to what you thought they were going to go.
True.
An example of you being told, you're going to speak now you're going to. So when you're a speaker, you must be fluid. Which means if something were to happen right now, a technical glitch between you and I, it must not affect the flow of the conversation.
True.
Just because the mic stopped working, all of a sudden it's like, now we need to start afresh. What were you saying? Where were we? The flow must not stop because there's a confidence of knowing where we were and where we were going with the conversation. So I'm going to take it back to where we started. Know what you are going to say.
Preparation.
Why are you speaking? So the preparation is on the why. So you've been asked to go to UJ at the university to speak to some young entrepreneurs. Why do you need to speak to the UJ students versus people in business? What is the pain point that you are addressing in your communication as a speaker? You are addressing the lack of confidence that these young people have because now they're doing their 3rd year and they are scared of going into the job market. They are worried about how to carry themselves with confidence for interviews. You are addressing the pain point of lack of confidence.
You know what I'm getting as you're speaking and explaining this, you get back to it. Don't make it always about you. Make it more about the audience.
Yes.
And their pain points and what they are going through and what you want to help them achieve.
Yes.
Because a lot of the time we're thinking about our presentation. How is it going to go? How am I going to do?
It's very self-centered, but if you master that definition of communication, it's an exchange. So if you say it's an exchange, if you just talk about yourself and worry about yourself, which means you are just giving, you are just sending, but it is not an exchange. An exchange means that my response to you as an audience tells you that you've addressed my pain point through my feedback, through my standing ovation, right? So when your agenda comes from a point of exchange, you'll never struggle as a public speaker because exchange happens even as you're speaking. You're watching the body language of the people in the room. Are they intrigued or are they bored? Intrigued, bored. And sometimes you see someone sitting in like they want to go into the stage because you are such a good storyteller. You've brought us into the story about how you started your business and how it fell apart and how you brought it back up and how now you've gone back into the communities, you're going into the townships. And even I'm talking now, I'm pulling you in, Dando.
You always do.
So it's that, just knowing what you're going to say, why you need to be saying what you're saying. Because then if you don't have a why are you speaking? How are you going to deliver the message? Is it in the town hall at the university? You must know the space. Go and see the space if you can. Because in your preparation, when you don't know the space, you are going to feel like the whole world swallowed you when you're now on stage. It's like, oh, so many people. It looks like this. You know, those are things that we have in our head. Know where you're going to speak. Go and see the venue. Walk on the stage. You know, the beauty of preparation is that your body, mind, body, soul, and spirit must connect to what you're doing. So go and feel the stage.
Feel the room, feel the stage.
Feel the room, feel the aura. You can't show up late.
Oh, yeah.
And then you want to master the ambience of the room. No. It will dribble you. So when I get to a place early, I actually get to talk to some of the people in the audience. Hi, how are you doing? And sometimes they don't even know I'm a speaker. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm just here. So why are you here today? Oh, no, I just wanted to come listen. You know, this Masterclass is communicate like a boss.
That's
I struggle with
great
confidence.
tip.
And in between, I am already figuring out my audience. You don't know that it's Doric who's a speaker.
And Jiggy Jiggy, when you go up front, it's like traitor. And then it's fun because then when I'm talking, I'm like, it was interesting when I came in early and I had an interesting conversation with some of you. And you were telling me about your greatest fears. I'm connecting with you, but I did it before I even started speaking. So you've bought into what I'm going to deliver for the day, and you've helped me figure out the pain points in the room. And in instances where you don't have the opportunity to do that, like always be at a place an hour, 30 minutes early, even 2 hours. If there is no practice of technological things, mic check, if it's just a room with 30 people, you're not using a microphone, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Be there. Then you That's
don't
a
leave
good
room
one.
for accidents on the road, on the free. Imagine the embarrassment. You just speak, you're like, sorry guys, I got stuck. Hey, you didn't know that you're speaking. So already you are communicating something. So a boss does not come late.
True. Got it. I love it. And when you're saying all these things, the come early I always do. And because I'm fussy about sound, I always test the tech.
Before.
I've had a whole lot of that go wrong before.
Feedback.
And, exactly. But what I hadn't been doing was get to the space and talk to the audience. And I see how valuable that can be. It
helps
gives
with
you
your
context.
And it helps with your nerves. Because now I've been chatting to people. Imagine just coming in like a robot into a space. And then now you're on stage and you adjust. So we're humans. So to help with your nerves, talk to the people. Right? Hi, my name is Doric. Oh, you're Doric. Oh, my word, it's you. Oh, so you're the one who's going to be speaking. Yes, it's me. Be nice to me. Right? I say those things. I'm like, don't be mean. Be nice to me. And I say those things. So at the end of the day, it's always good just to find a way to let loose. How do you socialize? Because you can't expect people to buy into something that you have not practiced or experienced before.
Beautiful. I love it. Last one. I could talk about in a room, but there's one thing I thought of while you were speaking about presentation and walking to the room and engaging.
Yeah.
And it's this one thing. People who are so tied to their PowerPoint presentation, they ignore looking at the room and seeing that they're losing the audience. Talk to us there and close us off.
Like I'm literally doing this. Like I'm bringing it in because it is one of the things that I always pick up in my trainings that people struggle the most with that. You think your PowerPoint must speak on your behalf. The PowerPoint is there to help you communicate what you wanted to. It's your helper. It is not the main communicator. You are the hub of communication. And when you refer to the PowerPoint, it must be a complementary element of your presentation. If it's a picture, it's an emphasis. Guys, you have no idea how scared I was of this event. And then, boop, a picture of someone going, oh, right? It's an emphasis. When I'm teaching about the fear of public speaking, I always have the picture of a woman going, ah, because it's a fear that all of us have, right? So my PowerPoint is a reference. It is your referral to help people understand what you are saying to them. It's never the main hub of communication. So it must be short and concise. People put
paragraphs.
They put a whole thesis on a PowerPoint. And you're like, and then the words are now small. So the reason why PowerPoint was created is so that when it is projected or when I'm reading it from a computer, your words must still be big enough for me to see them and read them. But if it's now like this, then it's no longer a PowerPoint. Don't even call it a PowerPoint. Just say, I sent you an email, Ndando, and please read the email. So PowerPoint practice is master your content. So people tend to act like, I didn't read my content. People will see when I'm projecting it. And it shows, by the way, when you start presenting. Because then I'm starting, hi, my name is Doric Sithole. Welcome to my masterclass, Communicate Like a Boss. So before I start, I just want to talk to you guys about your greatest fear. What's your greatest fear? Right? And then, boom, there's a picture. So I am aligning what I'm saying, but I've mastered where I'm going to start. Your intro, body, conclusion. You must have that in place. And then your PowerPoint. People get so distracted because then now you're worried about your content and you keep going. As you guys can see, the PowerPoint, okay, sorry, hey, this thing is getting stuck now. And also as you, now technology is also sabotaging you.
It can.
Sorry, it's freezing now. The reason why you must know your content is that one day you will have a PowerPoint and things won't work. Master what you're going to say, even if you're writing it down on cue cards. So that if the computer shuts down by mistake, you're still flowing. So let's keep it moving. We've just had a technical glitch, but let's keep the session going. So as I was saying, that you can tell that someone has mastered their content, and because of that, they are confident. You don't master your content, you are not confident. Even the ones that speak good English, I've seen people struggling because you didn't prepare. Prepare. Be resilient also. Pick yourself up. Yes, something happened, but don't die with the PowerPoint. And then now your voice is also dropping now because something happened. You came in with, good morning, my name is Doric. Welcome to my masterclass, Communicate Like a Boss. And then something happens. Right, guys, sorry about that. Let's just continue. Gone.
True. Now, I learned this one when I went and I had a whole PowerPoint done. It had nice visuals. I took hours to prep that PowerPoint.
Yeah.
I was clean and keeping the text small because that I had learned as well. But on the day I get to the room and I think I'd carried an Apple computer and they had no adapters to connect me.
HDMI cables
and
not cabling.
no one had a second computer for us to swap. And where we were to try and get a cable.
Something else.
So that was PowerPoint gone. So now I have to find a way to say all the things I was going to say with my aid without.
Yeah. And do a print the PowerPoint.
I didn't have time for all of that,
Yeah.
but it's from
But in
that
preparation,
experience. It's
yeah.
from that experience that taught me to always be ready to present without. So now I'm more ready to present without it than
And
with
you'll
it.
find that when I do my trainings, I don't rely on PowerPoints. You'll be shocked.
Yeah, that's where it got me to as well.
Because I realized that my drive is to get you to be confident without the PowerPoint. So 80% of my training sessions don't rely on a PowerPoint, because I want to connect with the human being who's actually going to be the one communicating. If I can get you to see that it is possible, I've trained you for 5 days, and you can count the number of times I relied on a PowerPoint, then which means you can trust me with the delivery of the training, and you can now trust yourself because you were trained by someone who can do it.
You've talked a lot about this training and this masterclass.
Yes.
Let's throw in some. When can we do one and invite everybody? I am sure there's someone who is saying, I want to be a part of this masterclass, because we're going to throw in some links, and look out, we'll invite you. But I just wanted to say what we have in mind.
So I want to do an event where people can really experience the practical aspect of what communication means. So my sessions are very practical.
Yeah.
I ask you to come and introduce yourself, and you will do it in the beginning of the event, and I ask you to do it again towards the end of the event, because I want you to see the difference, and I want your audience to be able to say to you, wow, when we started she was shy, now she's like, hi, my name is Sheila. Because people need to be able to see the difference. And it can happen within an hour.
Okay.
Because all you needed was someone to just tell you that you have 1, 2, 3, your key strength is this. Let's try it again.
Use it this way.
Use it this way. You have a powerful voice, but your pitch is too low, so we can't hear it. So you're like a V12 car that's been driven at less than 100 kilometers per hour. No. You can't be driving at 60 k's per hour with a V12. It has power for a reason. So we want to feel the power. If the power is your look, I'll tell you, when you walked into the room, that outfit said to me, you must listen to me. And people get that kind of feedback. Because to be honest, when we watch videos, it's not as practical. But when you are interfacing with other people, it is so nice. So I want to do that event with Coach Ndando.
It's coming.
Let's get
it's
people
coming.
in a room.
It's
Let's
coming.
get people in a room.
We'll get you in the room. Look out. If you're interested, we'll put a link in the description of this video. Just click on it. Register. And when we set the date, you will get the email.
And be a part of it. Yeah.
And be a part of it. You're not charging you for this one.
It's going to be for free.
For this one.
For this one.
So come and learn how to communicate like a boss with the remarkable, historic. Any last words?
Thank you. Well, all I want to say is that your brand is unique. Do whatever you need to do to showcase that brand. And focusing on communication means that you are going to show up in the best possible way. Because before we ask for those printouts, the first thing you do is you open your mouth and you say hi. And let's make sure that if you attend this event, we will refine you to the point where you can go out and shine.
Thank you. I know this has blessed someone. Send it to a friend that you know needs it. And we are incredibly appreciative of how we've been growing because of what you're doing. So thank you for that as well. From my side, I will say, remember to go and check out the link in the description. Register for the upcoming masterclass on Communicate Like a Boss. Would love to have you there. So from our side, see you on the next episode.